No one warned me that once I turned 30 that my makeup would suddenly feel like it stopped working and enhance so much lines, so much texture that I didn't even know I had. Because what do you mean that this is what my makeup looks like as a 33-year-old with all these lines, texture, even using some hydrating formulas, modern day formulas? My skin looks absolutely horrible up close and personal. And this is what my skin looks like when my makeup is immediately applied. I know it's just going to get worse throughout the day versus this side of my face here that actually looks and feels like skin. And not only that, but it is moving beautifully with my skin, because you can see the difference between the two sides of my face here. How here it almost looks like my makeup is sitting on top of my face, while here it looks like my makeup is in my skin. It is my skin that's showing through. It is not my makeup. So if you're someone who finds that your skin is emphasizing texture, lines, wrinkles, making you look more tired, older, or your makeup just isn't blending the way that it once did, this is the Over 30 Makeup Starter Guide that's going to help you to take your makeup from looking like this to looking like this. And today we're going to talk about some of the reasons why our makeup no longer looks good after 30, what changed in our skin, some of the biggest mistakes that we make, and how to fix them. Make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss out on an episode, and let's get right into it. One of the biggest things that people don't realize changes in their skin once they turn 30, our collagen production actually slows down at 25 and dramatically starts decreasing the older that we get. So that is why you probably notice once you turn 30, you start noticing fine lines, wrinkles, all of the sun sins that we did when we were younger. If you didn't wear SPF like myself, who didn't think that I needed SPF because I have brown skin, and I didn't think when I was 16 years old that I needed sunscreen, because I was like, I'm not going to get burnt, so why do I need sunscreen? But especially as someone who lives in Florida, I definitely have a couple of little hyperpigmentation spots, little sunspots and whatnot that have started showing when I turned 30 and have dramatically gotten a lot more and have dramatically become a lot more noticeable. Plus, our hormones play a huge role. And as we get older, our estrogen levels start to decrease, and that can cause lines, wrinkles, texture to look a lot more noticeable. Maybe you're someone who struggles with melasma. That is usually a sign of some kind of hormonal imbalance. So as we get older, that can become a lot more noticeable. Some of the biggest things that I noticed in my skin was definitely how much more drier my under eyes looked. The skin underneath my eyes was starting to feel a lot thinner and look a lot thinner. I started noticing that my smile lines were a little bit more dominant. I had fine lines on my forehead, and especially underneath my eyes, I was noticing a little bit more lines and wrinkles. But again, that is just a natural part of aging. That is just a natural part of life. Of course, there are definitely things that you can do, like taking supplements, drinking plenty of water. I didn't realize how important hydration was until I turned 30, and that makes a huge difference. And also making sure that we're taking care of our skin. I think one of the biggest things that really helped me was making sure that I prepped my skin correctly. And when I prep my skin correctly, I don't have to wear as much makeup. So I personally love to start off first with some kind of exfoliating wipe. This is going to help to get rid of dead skin, because another thing that happens as we get older is our cell turnover rate slows down, meaning that our skin has a harder time getting rid of the dead skin. So sometimes we need to give it a little bit of extra help. So using these daily exfoliating wipes before makeup is going to help to make sure that you don't have any dead skin, so that your skin doesn't look dry, patchy, and your makeup doesn't cling onto any spots that may have not been exfoliated correctly. Then I like to go in with a milky toner. So in the summertime, my skin is still pretty oily because I do live in Florida and it is hot and humid, but our hard water is so terrible here that it makes my skin dry. So it's kind of like this weird combination that's going on here, where when I'm outside, I'm sweating like a pig, but when I'm inside, my skin is so dry feeling. So using a milky toner is going to really help to deeply nourish and hydrate the skin. I like using this more than an astringent because it's actually hydrating, while astringents can be more stripping on the skin barrier, which can make the skin a lot drier. And if my skin is feeling hydrated enough in the morning, I can usually get away with just doing this as my skin prep, and it is plenty. But whenever I need a little bit of extra boost, especially if you're someone who has maybe more dry skin or noticing more lines and wrinkles, hydration is key. I cannot emphasize how important it is to make sure that your skin is hydrated, that the formulas you're using are hydrating, because hydrated because hydrated skin is youthful skin. So if I am going to use a serum, I'm going to use snail mucin. I have been obsessed with this because it is not too greasy. It gives the perfect amount of hydration and just helps to lock in that milky toner into my skin so that my makeup applies a lot smoother. But of course, this isn't enough moisture. This is a deeper level of hydration. Moisturizer is going to lock everything in. So depending on what I'm doing my makeup for that day is whether if I would just use a moisturizer that is hydrating enough for my skin type. There are definitely plenty of different ones. And I did do a whole entire video all about skin preps, do's and don'ts. So make sure that you check that out down below. There's also lighter weight moisturizers, or if you're just doing your makeup for every day, I personally like to use a chemical sunscreen because chemical sunscreens are usually a lot more hydrating. They don't fade the way that mineral sunscreens can. I find that they wear really well underneath makeup if you are oily combination. Some people do like mineral sunscreen, so definitely play around, but making sure that you prep your skin correctly before applying sunscreen is going to be key to making sure that you have enough hydration. I think people skip the skin prep steps, especially as we get older, and they wonder why their makeup doesn't look good. And when your skin is prepped correctly, when your skin is hydrated, you end up using way less makeup in the long run. The biggest thing that I noticed, and this was actually in my mid-20s that I started noticing, my skin was emphasizing so much texture whenever I would wear makeup. And as a professional makeup artist who was aspiring to be this big shot, I was so embarrassed to wear makeup in front of people because in pictures it looked beautiful, but up close and personal, you could see all of the texture on the top of my cheekbones. You could see all of my pores, and throughout the day, my makeup would separate. I didn't realize that makeup primer was part of the problem, but the second problem was the actual formulas themselves. The makeup formula you use is key, and for me, I have noticed that using hydrating formulas, even as someone who is oily combo, is key. You definitely want to make sure that you're not using something that is greasy, but you're using something that is hydrating, which is why I love this cream wax formula from Seint Beauty. I find that it is not too greasy like a lot of other creams are. It doesn't have tons of oils in there, and it's going to just give the right amount of hydration to the skin, which is going to help you to use way less makeup. Now, when you first start using this, you may notice that your skin is getting a little bit greasy, and especially when you're switching from liquids to cream, that is definitely something that will happen. It happened to me for about 2 weeks or so while my skin was just getting adjusted to not needing to produce oil because my makeup was no longer sucking all the hydration out of my skin. So I'm gonna go ahead and do one side of my face with my cream wax makeup, the other side of my face with my old makeup routine that I have right in here, which was a good mix of powders and liquids.
So when it came to my old makeup routine, I always started off first by applying foundation all over my skin. Now here I'm using a hydrating foundation formula that looks really great on its own, but once I start layering other products, that's where things kind of get a little sketchy. Then I'm applying my concealer. Usually I would go in with a brighter concealer, especially back in high school days. This was the technique that we would do. And going in with the also pop Laura Mercier setting powder. Now this is not one of my favorites because it does dry out my skin, but we're going to just apply that with a large fluffy brush. And already you can see that this is starting to enhance some texture. I used to be someone who would use bronzer as contour, so that is what I'm doing here because this is similar to what the routine was that I used to use before. And you see how this is starting to cake up on my skin. Now we're applying another powder, so now we have about 4 or 5 layers of makeup on our face, blending out those edges to try to get everything to look nice and smooth. And you can really see how this is enhancing a lot of texture. And then this was probably the thing that really killed me, was using powder highlighters, because that just enhanced all the texture on my face. I would go in with a little bit of powder just to clean up the edges. This is something that I always do anyways on my makeup routine. And you can see how it's just starting to enhance some heaviness on my lines. And plus, it took me forever to go through my actual makeup bag. But this palette right here, it is a custom cream wax makeup palette that I can actually help you to personalize by filling out my color match form below. I start off first by applying bronzer and contour. This is going to help to add depth, dimension, and warmth to the skin. And then I'm going to go in with my blush. So I'm kind of doing an underpaint technique. What's cool about this specific formula is every single tin offers coverage, so you don't need to go in with a full face of foundation first. So you can do everything in one layer, which is what makes everything look super light and dimensional. And you can see how it took way less time to basically create the same same exact look. And again, I'm not digging through a makeup bag. And this look took me half the amount of time that my regular routine took me, plus it looks so much more youthful and like skin.
And here's a close-up of the side-by-side comparison. You can see from a mile away, look at all that texture. This is what I was talking about. This is what my makeup always did, no matter the quality of my makeup. Now, I'm using a mix of modern day makeup that is a lot more hydrating than what it was back then. So it was even worse looking back then, plus a couple of staples that I still have from high school. So you can really see the way that it just doesn't move with my skin. It just kind of is sitting on top of my skin, which is what liquids do. Liquids, because of the fact that they dry down, have alcohols in them. So it can make the skin look a lot more dry, and especially under my eyes. Look at all that texture. I didn't even realize that I had that texture versus this side here. Now I probably could add a little bit more concealer to add coverage, but that's what I love about cream makeup, is that if I need to add extra coverage, if I need to add extra makeup, I totally can, and it's not going to look cakey, it's not going to get heavy, and I can do it at any time. I don't have to rush to fix my makeup, so I can finish my whole entire face, look at it in different angles, and then make any tweaks that I need to. And look at how it just moves with my skin. It is going with it, so whenever I make crazy expressions, it's not heavy looking and it's not overly emphasized. And here's the shift that really helped me when I turned 30, and what I want to inspire you with too. Having lines, having wrinkles, having texture is 100% normal. That's what makes us look like humans. That's what makes it look like real skin. So I don't want you to think that you need to look like this airbrushed version that you're seeing on social media, because that is a two-dimensional figure that you're seeing. You're not seeing what it actually looks like in real life in 3D. Even myself, you can't really see what I look like in 3D. It looks way different in real life than what it looks like in person. Also, nobody is looking as close up to your face as you are looking. I know so many people that they're like, I want my makeup to completely get rid of these little lines underneath my eyes. This is normal. This is literally, it means that I have real skin. So this is normal. These little lines, that doesn't make me look older. What's going to make me look older is if it's really heavy and starting to settle in and crease and dry out my under eyes. That's what's making me look older. Not the fact that I have those little lines. That makes me look human. The fact that I have these little smile lines, if you will, or marionette lines, whatever you want to call them. They're very minor for sure, but it's because of my cheekbones. It's because of where my cheekbones sit. And that's what makes it look like that. And whenever I'm talking, whenever I'm making expressions, you see it, but that is normal. If this was completely smooth, it would not look human like at all. Also, I learned, or one thing that I had to shift was that we do not all need full coverage. Full coverage is great for special events, special occasions, but for day to day, having your skin show through is normal. This is what makes me look like a human. The fact that you can still see some of my imperfections, but it's evened out. My skin is more balanced, and that is what makes us look human. And I think when we shift our mindset of the expectations and the reality of what makeup can actually do and what it should look like versus what it probably looks like, I think that is the biggest shift. And for me, I personally want my skin to look youthful and hydrated like this. I don't want it to look like this, because this looks decent at first, and from a distance it really doesn't look too bad. It's adding a lot of structure, dimension, and depth. And I think this has a time and a place. But for me, day to day, I prefer my skin to look like skin and feel like skin. Now, to keep things fair, I am going to set this side of my face because I always set my cream makeup, but I just want to show you what the two routines look like and what the cream looks like without setting. So I'm going to go in with a hydrating setting powder. So this is the Laura Mercier Ultra Blur, which is their hydrating formula. I personally do not like the original formula. I know I'm probably an outlier, but I just am not a fan of the ultra or the original, because I find that it is extremely drying underneath my eyes. Now, one thing that I will do is, number one, I make sure that wherever I do have maybe lines, texture, wrinkles, whatever, that there's not too much makeup there, that it's not settling. So before I set my creams, I'll just use the warmth of my fingers to blend, or you can use a damp sponge. Then I'm going to go ahead and press, and I'm going to start from the bottom of my nose instead of the bottom of my eyes. I find that this helps me to wear way less powder underneath my eyes, so that way it doesn't look too heavy. And even when I put powder on top of my cream, look at how that still looks very skin-like. It doesn't look really heavy and crepey, how it looks like on that side there. Formula truly does matter, and that is the biggest thing that I can tell you, that if you are in your 30s if you're starting to notice that your makeup is starting to emphasize lines, wrinkles, texture, it may be a sign that you need to change your makeup formula. Yes, you can still wear powders. As you can see, I'm wearing powders. And if I wanted this to look a little bit more dramatic, if you will, I was going for a more glam look, which I have done many videos on how I do that, I would put powders on top of this to help to add that extra depth and dimension that powders do give. Cream is always going to look like skin. It's going to be more radiant. It's going to be more lightweight. It's not going to give you the same finish that a powder can because of the way that the light reflects off of cream. Because it's so hydrating, it's going to look a lot more sheer versus something that is powder. It's going to be more opaque. It's going to be more dense. So it's going to pull a lot darker and more intense. But look at that. Look at how my skin still looks like skin, even with powder on top compared to this side here. Do we see the difference? You see the difference, right? Then I would go in with setting spray. And this is what I would do all the time. I would just use setting spray, hydrating mist, whatever, to try to melt the powder, but I still found that it gave me texture. So I'm drenching my skin so that way we have that even playing ground, and that way both sides are set with powder and setting spray. And you can see that even then, the foundation formula, the liquids, the powders, everything in between makes the world of a difference. One thing I will say, once I do set my face with powder, sometimes I will go back in and add more blush because I do find that the powder does diminish the intensity of my blush or of my makeup depending on what formula the creams are, because these creams do come in different formulas. Like the blushes come in satin, gloss, and semi-gloss formulas, so they're going to be super opaque, middle of the ground, and then sheer is the different formulas. While these are always going to be pretty true to color, the difference is depending on the brush you use is the type of coverage you get, which is another thing I love, is that I don't necessarily need to have 20 different foundation formulas to get different looks. I can just have a couple of different brushes that are going to give me different looks. And look at the difference. So here is this side of my face here with the old school makeup set exactly the same as this side of my face here that has the creams. Do you see how it still looks and feels like skin? And the beauty too, if I wanted to add more makeup on top of what I already have, it doesn't emphasize texture. If anything, it just rehydrates the skin and gives this beautiful, soft glow without getting patchy, without getting cakey, which was the thing that I loved the most about this makeup formula. So if you are someone who is wanting skin-like makeup, wanting to upgrade your routine now that you're in your 30s or older and needing a routine that is quick, easy, simple, condensed, and literally doesn't take much time to think through. Plus, I don't have to dig through a cluttered makeup bag, because even with these few little products, it took me a while to find some of these products. Well, here it's literally all laid out for me, and I even organized my palette the way that I apply my makeup, so it's so much quicker. I'm gonna have my color match form listed for you down below, and not only will I help you to create a personalized makeup palette like this that's going to work for your skin type and your skin needs, but I'll also create a face map for you to teach you where to place these products on your face, because one thing that I have learned is that placement is so much more important than actual makeup formula. Before we can talk about placement, we need to talk about the actual shades that we are choosing, our undertones, and how to make sure that we are picking shades that are going to make us look youthful and not make us look tired, which will be next week's episode of our Over 30 Makeup Starter Guide. So make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what are some makeup struggles that you have now that your skin is getting older that you'd like me to help you figure out next.